Now we're running. Hey, Eric. How you doing tonight? First one here. If you're the only one here, I'll bring you into the stream and we can just chat. If you're the only one here, I'll bring you into the stream. All right, Red Sox fan is in. You get along well with my sister-in-law. She's grew up near Boston, and the fans over there are pretty hardcore. The Sox won. Nice. I actually went to a Sox game in early September. So, GG, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We'll kind of let people file in here for a few minutes and then we'll just get her going. Drew, how are you? It's good to see you too, or see from you. Morning from Sweden. All right, we got a FUD killer. I like you guys. It's just crazy that people would just go be negative for no reason. Like, you have nothing better in your life to do than go into people's, content videos and just say crazy stuff. Ridiculous. Shibzilla, how are you? All right. Going to get my screen share going here too so I can pop in on some different things. Let's see. You're not seeing my screen, I don't believe. So let me see if I can correct that. So there we go. All right. Now I think, yep, you should be able to see my screen. And I can see myself and I can see the content. So, Andrea, how are you doing? I appreciate that. So it looks like, hey, Saitama's on a bit of an up run here since I put my video out. Not that I would take credit for that, but it just seems like we've been kind of in a good spot here for a while. Sydney, Australia. Wow. That is pretty incredible. There's just people all over the world. It's amazing to me, actually, that that we can create these kind of connections. And so awesome. We got people in from Seattle, California. Yeah. So what would you guys like to talk about? What kind of topics do you have? What kind of questions do you have? I'm happy to go pretty much anywhere you guys want to go with this. Adán Castillo, ¿qué más, amigo? ¿Cómo está usted? Eric, hey, yeah, you're the first one in, man. Out in Mississippi. I have never been to Mississippi. I've been near there. And of course, you're the most famous city for young spellers in the whole United States. Price end of year. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. We could kind of look at potential price for the end of the year. I've got, I think, an interesting way to approach that keeps it a little more scientific. I'll see people give price predictions, and a lot of times I kind of feel like they're, I don't know, they're kind of just pulling a number out of the air, just a feeling. We can definitely use some math to try to get there. Also, I see people use charts and just use regression analysis where you basically just draw a trend line and then you can kind of pinpoint that out in time. Somebody just asked if I'm coming to Vegas. Terry Jung, man, I don't know what to do with that. I'm actually not that far away from Vegas. but I do have quite a few work obligations, and I'm thinking about just saying I need to put it aside. I just don't know where the after party is because I don't know if I can still get a ticket. I haven't checked. They had tickets available last week, and it's so tempting to want to be there and be in the middle of all of it, especially where I can bring that information directly to the audience. So, um, man, that's a tough one. Would like to. So FUD Killer, you're talking about how long do we think we'll be in a consolidation mode? Adam, how are you doing? Appreciate you being in the stream and appreciate you giving the old shout out for hitting the like button, getting a few more people in. Right now, we've got a few folks on board. So we got some people flashing their bags on the screen. 2.9 billion. Adon, that's a great place to start. And Matt, 30 billion. That's a good bag. That's a great place to be. There's definitely some potential there. Do I have any idea which two exchanges will be the next two ones? So let's look at that question first because I've already got some information up about that. And then I'm going to circle back around to those other two about maybe a price prediction for the end of the year and how long we'll be in consolidation. So is there anybody on the stream that is planning on going to Vegas? Let me ask you guys that same question. And while I'm doing that, we'll pull up, if I can find it. It was actually on a Twitter feed. Tokenator actually put it up. So let me see if I can find that really quick. Okay, here's Tokenator's feed. Sorry, I'm not good at multitasking this. Okay, the Bitmart listing. He had everything nicely placed in one screen for us. Let's see if it's no, that's coming next week. In the video that I did earlier, I showed the top 10, and there are some in there like Coinbase Pro and Binance are the two big ones that everybody would like to see. There's actually they have a phenomenon they referred to as the Coinbase effect, and if you happen to get placed on Coinbase, you see a pretty good spike in the price. So, and I think all of these will give us some of that. Yeah. So people talking about their, 27 billion, is it worth it? Hey, anywhere is a great place to start. And it's actually going to get easier for people who are dollar cost averaging in. So that's one of the things that I think is difficult right now. I'm kind of in a fortunate situation. I don't have lots of money for investing in cryptocurrency, but I was able to make my purchases in quantities of like $300 or $400, and then like $1,000. I actually took money from my Robinhood account and made a buy during a video here just last week. And when you do that, those larger volumes, like $500 worth, then the fees end up working out better in the DeFi space. Like paying a $50 fee on a $500 transaction is expensive still at 10%, but that's something you can recover. Whereas if you're trying to invest $50 at a time, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Okay, I'm going to pop back to my main computer to see some of these questions you guys have got going. So yeah, Bitmart is huge. Let me scroll back up a little bit and see what I missed. Okay. Pulse chain is coming. No more high gas fees. Yeah, there's several new blockchains that are coming out. Some that I actually hadn't even heard of. I know Shiba Inu is coming with Shibarium at some point. We're looking at our own blockchain for Saitama. I've heard the development team talk about that. And any of these places, we can get a new blockchain technology that will allow us to swap tokens. The fees will come down dramatically. The problem with the fees is just based on the fact that everybody's building their NFTs and their they call them ERC20 tokens, but they're Ethereum blockchain tokens like Saitama, actually, like Shiba Inu. most of these new projects that are coming out built on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's so bogged down that that it's difficult. That's there's just a lot of competition, so the miners are getting massive fees. So Terry Jung, you're going to be there. Well, if I make it out there, I'd love to hook up with some of the community and go to dinner, and I could be your designated driver if you're having a drink, because I'm old and I live it pretty low key these days. So, all right, Shiba, it's the best. I think Shiba's pretty good too. Okay, Bitmart was huge for us. I don't think Binance. Yeah, Binance actually did tell us early on that we need to have 150,000 holders, but I've heard Russell talking about that, saying, they might reach out to us just seeing the explosive growth that we're having. But you're probably right. We'll probably have to wait on Binance. So one of those other top 10, and I know I had them up in my feed. Let me look and see if it was on the Saitama Guru, if he retweeted it, because it was a nice, concise list. Oh, there it is right there. That's the one I'm looking for. It was in the Saitama Spanish official. So, okay, Upbit, Huobi, Crypto.com. I could see Crypto.com potentially. I actually purchased my Shiba Inu on Crypto.com, so they were an early adopter of that one. KuCoin is the other one that I hear pretty regularly coming up. And so any of those, it just will open us up so much to the possibility of new investors, because the centralized exchanges are easier to use. I'm going to mute for a minute and clear my throat. So I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I have some kind of chronic throat clearing thing that makes it really difficult. If you ever hear me mute the videos, or if you hear the volume cut out for a minute, we actually have a son who has Tourette's, and this throat clearing thing has been a thing for me for probably pushing on 30 years now. So my wife wonders if it isn't some kind of a tick type of thing, but I don't know. I always feel like it's a physiological thing, because I just feel like I'm going to choke if I don't clear my throat. So, and she says that's exactly what a tick is. So there's a tidbit about the stacker for the night, for the stream. All right, let me jump back in and look at a few more of these. Closed Robinhood stocks, start in Saitama. Yeah, that's kind of what I did too. Actually, I pretty much took most of my holdings. I sold 2 different stocks I was holding, and I had some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and some Litecoin. And I sold all those positions and have increased my bag. And I'm sitting on about $500 in my Coinbase wallet, just waiting for an opportunity or looking for something else maybe to buy too. Oh, holy smokes. Shiba Bone Collector. That's very kind of you. So my channel actually just monetized yesterday. Don't feel obligated to make contributions, but I will try to take those contributions and figure out a way to roll it back into the community for giveaways and things like that. That's really kind of you. Let's see what your comment is here. Shiba Bone Collector should have had a lot more, but rather than time in the market, tried timing the market. Still 3.5 trillion strong. Wow, that's an amazing bag. And I'm with you on the timing the market. This is something I talk about pretty frequently in the videos. And for me, it has to do with, I'm actually pretty busy during the day. I mean, I've got a full 8 to 5 job, and some of the things we're doing, I actually have to work outside of that time frame as well. So I don't have a ton of time to try to be tracking the market and, trying to hit the dips and sell at the highs. So what I've been doing more so is just buying projects that I really believe in, like Saitama, like Shiba Inu. I actually would hold more Ethereum and Bitcoin because I think their potential for growth is still really good. And I see returns a little bit differently than I think some people do with cryptocurrency. I actually had somebody comment one time that if my investment couldn't go up by 10x, why would I even bother? and they're talking about in a very short period of time. So 10x, I mean, that's a massive return. I worked in brokerage houses doing investment advising. It's been 15 years ago, but we would be targeting 10% per year. So 100% return would take 7 years to achieve. So people thinking, well, if I can't 10x my money in 3 months, why would I even look at that? So, oh man, you guys are so kind. S. Rao, hi Stacker. Thanks for the great content. Thoughts on how we could increase the burn for Saitama apart from the built-in burn percentage. Cheers from Sydney, Australia. Go to Vegas for me. All right, I'm gonna have to look into it. That's a good question about the burn. So if you saw the burn video that I made, and I actually still have this built into my spreadsheet, I'll just give you guys a quick peek at that. I'll have to find which. Yeah, it's in this one here. So the supply was originally 100 quadrillion. 50% of it was burned immediately, and then from May to September we burned 5%. But if you look at what's happened from September till now, that burn is starting to actually slow down, and it has to do with how many tokens get burned based on the price. And so to keep the burn steady, the volume has to remain equal. I'm going to have to clear. Excuse me. So the volume has to remain like you have to maintain the same volume to price ratio. So to keep the burn going at that steady rate, your volume has to come up massively. So the one thing that will help accelerate the burn is that the dead wallet, which you can see in CoinMarketCap under holders. So the dead wallet currently holds 55% of the total token count. And so not only is it getting the 2% burn, but it's also getting 55% of the 2% reflection. So the burn rate is currently 3%. And the more it burns and the bigger the burn wallet gets, it will capture more and more of that until almost 4% of every transaction buy or sell gets moved to the dead wallet. So that's a kind of a built-in accelerator. But I haven't seen the dev team discuss other ways to get the token supply down. It is a massive token supply, and somebody pointed out in the comments of one of the videos the other day that they're all copycatting, all these new tokens that are coming out. There's a baby everything. So there's a baby Saitama. People wanted me to talk about that one. It's not the same project as Saitama. It's completely different, but they used the Saitama name and they said baby. The tokenomics are almost exactly the same. This quadrillions of tokens, it is an issue. And if you don't have some kind of burn mechanism, it's going to be really hard to get the price to push up into the few zeros, like 0.00 or 0.01. To get to 1 cent, you got to burn some tokens. Even for Shiba Inu, who has about 380 trillion tokens, to get to a penny requires a large market cap. So that's a good question. That's something I'd love to ask the development team if they have any kind of thoughts on additional burn mechanisms. I know with Shiba Inu, they're doing it with their NFTs. So they're about to drop 10,000 Shiboshis, their NFT, and a portion of every single one of those Shiboshi purchases is going to burn Shiba. Also, on Shiba Inu, every time somebody lists a coin on the Shiba swap, they also have to burn $50,000 worth of Shiba Inu token. So yeah, I would be interested to look into that. Should look into Klee Kai. So I don't want to butcher your name, Akkee. Aki. I actually looked at Klee Kai today, just a little bit. And I actually watched a couple of videos on the Klee Kai, the run game. And I need to look into it more, but I was a tiny bit disheartened. It doesn't sound like you're always going to have a large token count to be able to play their game, which is an earn to play. But what I read on their site was that you had to have 1.5 trillion tokens to be able to play the game. And that in current US dollars was like close to 650 or $700. And so I'll take a look at it. I will tell you this, when I'm looking at new projects, and I'm happy to talk about other tokens, by the way, on these streams. When I do my videos, I'm making content specific to Saitama because I just decided I don't have time to make videos for all these different things. And I'm not trying to make a living off of YouTube. I don't see this replacing my regular job. And I work with family in my regular job, and I feel like I owe it to them to stay with these projects that we've been working on for the last couple of years. But yeah, I will look into Klee. I see other people saying Klee. I know there's been some good gains there, so I'll keep taking a look at it. But I want to see in new projects, what's the plan for the long term? Is there a development team? Like Saitama has an amazing development team. They've got great plans. So, all right, let's see. Thanks for the info. What did I miss from Easy? Made by Hex Team. Okay. Oh, that's you guys going straight up. Yeah, Pulse Chain. I've heard a couple of these new. There's another one called Harmony that has its own blockchain. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more blockchain. And I'll be interesting to see how that develops out because, for one, we have to do something about the Ethereum gas fees. When I first started buying things through the DeFi exchanges like Shiba, I think my fees were like $5. It was very low. And now it's pretty rare to get a fee under $40. So crazy. All right. Food lover? Is food lover in the house? That's a person who is so kind in the comments. All right. Let's get back to a couple of those early questions. Somebody talked about how long do I think we're going to be consolidating. So let's just look at the chart. And if I'm totally honest, there's people who do. So there's two types of analysis when you're looking at investments. The first one is called fundamental analysis. And if you're evaluating a cryptocurrency, we would look at things like what are the tokenomics and what's the development team and what kind of projects do they have and what's happening with all of the different metrics within and the things that I follow in my videos, what's happening with the holders, what's happening with the market cap, and how do those things affect the ability for the project to grow in terms of the price. And then there is technical analysis, and people who do technical analysis will look a lot at charts. And you can pretty much, you can gather a lot of information from a chart. Okay, so you can see here, there was a big run up. This is 1 month chart. So the first 15 days of that, we saw a lot of price increase. And since that time, we've been in a sideways trading band, which they would refer to as consolidation. And consolidation is actually pretty healthy when you're looking at technical analysis, because what it means is you're establishing a new floor for the chart, for the technical analysis. You want a series of higher lows and higher highs. So, like we haven't seen a low. This is 10.6. So 5 days ago, we hit a low of 80875. And that's where I was. That's the day I was actually trying to buy. So I made a video that day or the next day where I did a buy, and I bought in at 809, about this area here, and then just got lucky on my timing. It ran back up. And here for about the last 4 days, we're in this sideways trading band. I think what's going to push us out of this are some of the catalysts that we have coming. The Bitmart listing next week. So I would think by next week, we'll see some of this. But I would tell you this, don't get your hopes up too much on these exchange listings, because, as a Shiba Inu holder, man, I was excited. When the Shiba swap launched, it was like so many things leading up to that were crazy. There was a CerTech audit. CerTech is a firm that does auditing of software to make sure that everything's functioning properly and that it's secure. And so the CertIC audit was a big deal. We were all waiting for that. They didn't have a date. Like, we have a date of November 13th for the launch of Saitama. There was no date for Shiba Swap. It just kind of got sprung on us. And so I was expecting, boy, when Shiba Swap drops, the price is going to skyrocket. And tons of money poured into Shiba Swap in that first couple of days. It was like $4 billion. And that was, I mean, it was incredible, but there were 10x rewards early on, and the price of Shiba Swap really didn't go back up. It stayed in that like 607 area for quite a while and kind of bounced down to the 605 and 608 until we just burned the zero last week in Shiba Swap. There's my throat clearing thing for all of you guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to start looking up. The holder count really moved up massively today. So Shiba Bone connector. Yeah, okay. I've got to get down here. See what I missed. Okay. Ikura. That Ikura I actually heard about for the first time today on Crypto Deb's cast. And that's something I wouldn't mind looking into. And that, yeah, that's the one that will be over on the Harmony blockchain. And I think Klee is actually going to migrate over to the Harmony blockchain. The way I understood it, I even was watching somebody who's playing the game, and they were saying that the game will start giving you rewards it'll still be Klee, but they'll be the ones that are on the Ikura blockchain. So, all right. The other thing that I would needs to break to 24. Okay. The other thing that we'll look at, somebody asked a question earlier about what do I think price wise by the end of the year? So that's quite a ways out for the way I look at this stuff. But one thing that we could do pretty easily is, we can look at what's been happening trend wise with the market cap. Or another way to do it, probably the easiest way, as far as I'm concerned, to do that would be to take, like, say the last, let's just start right here. We'll just take like the last 15 days and we will do an average of how many new holders we have. Okay, so that goes back to 9.5. That's about a month's worth. So we're averaging about 900 new holders per day. And if we were to try to project that forward, even to, like, let's say the end of November, so that's 45 days at 900 per day would be another 45,000, would put us at like 110,000 holders. And then if you were to look at that in terms of what's the average market cap per holder currently, so we'll just take the actual market cap that I'm calculating based on the burn divided by the number of holders, would say the average bag of Saitama is about $9,500 per individual. And if we were saying again, another 45,000 holders and we kept the same average. So let's see. So actually we'll just say 110,000 and we'll just put the product right here. So that amount multiplied by the new number of holders would give us a market cap of just over $1 billion. And then if we were to divide that by the remaining supply of tokens, which is, we're going to say about, it's 44 quadrillion. So we'll put one more little, this, hopefully I'm not boring you to tears on here, but so we're going to take that market cap divided by the remaining token supply. And that's going to be the original times the remaining Okay, so there's a potential price prediction. This should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. So we're looking at from going 7 zeros 1 4 to 7 zeros 2 3. So not quite a 2x in price increase. So 100% price increase, a little bit less by the end of November. Now, how accurate is that? Nobody has a a crystal ball, but that doesn't seem unreasonable to me based on what we have coming. If Cytomask really launches well and the momentum that we have with the new holders continues, then I think there's a chance we could do pretty well there. I'm going to pop back over the comments and see how you guys felt about that. Let's see. Yeah, there are people. So, Snowman, there are people predicting another zero gone. Russell actually said he wouldn't be surprised if we burned 2 zeros before the launch of Cytomask. And that was a couple weeks back. I hope so. That's all I can say. I mean, you can, it's pretty easy to go the other direction too, um, like to say, okay, where does the market cap need to be for us to be able to burn that zero? That's really easy math to do. Um, so, do I think that we will burn 65%? Well, Adam Rhodes, great question. So, in predicting the burn and the pace of the burn, we've got to see the volume come up to really get this burn moving. But 65% is another 10% from where we're at now. It's definitely going to burn that. I mean, it will continue to burn as long as the project is successful. Hopefully, it'll burn all the way down to where we're less than a quadrillion. And that's you're actually hitting on a video that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be another one of those ones that I worry everybody's going to lose their mind. And nobody has lost their mind yet, but I always think they're going to. But the math of this is all base 10 math, right? 100 quadrillion. I'm going to flip that spreadsheet back up and show you that number on the screen. Okay. So there's 100 quadrillion right here at the top of the screen. I would actually venture to guess that if you showed this number to people on the street and just asked them to recite what is this number, that you probably would have maybe 6 out of 10 people that couldn't do that. And I actually looked it up earlier because I'm prepping for this video, but another 3 zeros would put us into the quintillion, and then there's sextillion, septillion, octillion. I mean, the numbers are massive, but thoughts I had on that one were, in terms of that video, would be like, it's 93 million miles to the sun, 93 million, right? So how far is 100 quadrillion miles? It's a massive, massive number. Um, but it's all 10 based, right? So every time you multiply by 10, you burn a zero. And going the opposite direction, if we can shrink down the coins by a factor of 10, we burn a zero off the front end of the number. So if we can drop from 1 quadrillion to 999 trillion, then it will move the price over one decimal. So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of fascinating, but we need to burn the supply. So the people who are on that, you're thinking the right way. It's just going to take some patience. It's going to take some time. Yeah, Bitmart is now ranking number 7. That's correct, Arab Low. That's what I saw in this tweet. So here they are. I mean, it's a pretty tight race there. This is their volume, 24-hour volume. Can you imagine 24-hour volume of 1.52 billion? It would be good to own your own central exchange. Uh, I mean, really. I know Coinbase, I believe, is actually a publicly traded company. So you could, in a sense, own a piece of that. But there you Are you guys still in this broadcast? Somebody's going to have to let me know if we're still live here. We're having pretty harsh weather and I guess the internet died. So all right. So we're back on. All right. So somebody did. I mean, I'm happy to take a correction on this if it's inaccurate. But somebody's saying that Bitmart is ranked 98. So I saw that too yesterday when I talked about it the first time. I actually said it was a top 100 exchange, but this post in just basically off Twitter from the Saitama Spanish group that was retweeted by Russell. So I give it some credibility. Um, it's showing it listed as number 7, but I do find in this crypto space the reporting can be different from one source to the next, and I see it quite a bit looking at things like Coin Market Cap versus what CoinGecko has versus what the Dex IO has. So yeah, I don't know. I know it's a major exchange. And so we'll just have to see how it pans out. We know they have like 5 million users, and if this tweet is correct and based on volume, so it could also be, what are they basing that on? If it's based on their volume versus how many users they have, I don't really know. So, but I'm willing to be wrong on that one because it's not my call on that one. Thanks for the welcome back, Adam. Yeah, that was a little frustrating for a minute there. We actually had several power bumps. I don't know if you guys saw the lights flicker, and then it dropped. So yeah, if it's from Russ, I believe it. I don't know. I trust Russell. He's come through with everything that he said he's going to do. So all right. And actually when they did tweet out that there was a bonus one, they were looking for $50,000. I don't know if you recall this, but and I actually put this in one of my videos too. They did say that it was also a top 10 exchange. So that's not the first time that's come up. All right. Let's see. What have we missed? We did talk a little bit about maybe like a price type prediction. We talked about consolidation. Any other kind of questions or things you guys want to talk about? Did anybody see the crypto deb stream that I was in the other day for a minute with Bud and Cuffing the Dip? If you did, Bud got talking quite a bit about, yeah, Ozzy saw it. Bud got talking quite a bit, but he got talking quite a bit about market cap and whether or not I viewed market cap as a main contributor to why I would buy a project or not buy a project. I'll get to that question, Adam. There's somebody who wants me out of here worse than you do. Trust me. So, so as far as that market cap discussion goes, there's a lot of interesting things flying around about market cap. There's people that say, well, market cap doesn't matter in crypto. And in some instances, I mean, that's partially correct. Bud's question, are you really looking at market cap to make your decisions? No, that's not the main factor that I'm looking for. But one of the things that is important to recognize about market cap, and it's even important when you recognize here, I'll pull back up the spreadsheet, but fully diluted market cap versus the market cap. And I've talked about this in a couple of videos, but the fully diluted market cap would be if you take the original mint quantity of tokens and multiply it by the price, that is your fully diluted market cap. But we know that 55% of the supply has been burned. So that's really misrepresentative of how much money is actually in the project that we have to move. And when I say we have to move, to move the price up, the part that we have to move is actually the market cap that doesn't include the burned supply. And here's the way that I think about this. If we were in a war, and your side of the war, my side of the war, if we each had 100,000 soldiers and you dropped a bomb on my soldiers, and now I only had 10,000 left because you killed 90% of them, the next day when we were going into battle, you wouldn't say, well, they really have 100,000 soldiers, so we need to be cautious about our approach on this. You'd be thinking, no, we still have 100,000 and there's only 10,000 left in the game over there. So we're more than likely to win this battle. So I don't know if that analogy really works for you guys, but these soldiers are off the field. The 55 quadrillion tokens don't count anymore. They're gone. They can't come back in. So what we have to move is this. I'm going to take out this stuff that I just put in so it doesn't confuse everybody. But this market cap of 625 million is the true market cap that we have to move. Why is that important? It's important because the price could literally double and still be under the fully diluted market cap. It's easier to get from 100,000 to 200,000 than it is to get from 100 million to 200 million. That's a lot of money difference. So the smaller the market cap is, the less inertia it takes, the less force it takes to move the price upward. So that market cap is an important part of the discussion. And whether you use fully diluted market cap or the market cap, the price comes out the same. If you divide market cap by the supply that's in circulation, you'll get the same price as if you take the fully diluted market cap and divide it by the original mint token. I'll show you a good example of this really quick for people who want to look into it for themselves. But if you look at Shiba Inu, okay, and ours will start reporting this way too eventually. It will. Okay, so they have a fully diluted market cap and they have a market cap. Their fully diluted market cap is more than double what their market cap is. So over here, you'll see they had 100 quadrillion tokens originally, and now they have less than 400 trillion tokens. So if you were to multiply this max supply of 1 quadrillion by the price, you're going to arrive at this $30 billion market cap. If you multiply the circulating supply by the price, you'll arrive at the market cap. So it's easier to move this 12 billion to 30 billion than it is to move 30 billion to 60 billion. And what I'm saying is there's more upside potential, there still. It's just easier to move that market. All right, I'm going to bounce back over to the stream. Oh, Adam, let's talk about this. This is actually really an important question. You wouldn't think this, okay? And I should take the camera and pan it for you. But this room that I'm in is my wife's craft room, okay? And my wife is like Martha Stewart. She's really good at a lot of things. She's got sewing over here and everything's beautifully organized. She's got fabrics over here in cubbies. She's got a vinyl machine and she does signs. She's got embroidery stuff. She's got a serger. If you're a craft person or a sewer, you know what I'm talking about. This is her happy space. This is where she wants to be. And behind me, during the COVID season, my 14-year-old daughter she got fascinated with doing nails. And so she started training herself to do nails. And now she has a salon that she's even willing to put a price on for her friends. You want a full set of nails? It's $20. It's actually a really good price, right? But it's making my wife crazy that we've taken over her craft room. My kids call the room Saitama Studios, and she's been a really good sport about it, but I do need to move out. So I have a green screen coming that I can move to another room. And when I'm streaming like this, we can put my Saitama Stacker logo behind me and it'll look nice and clean. And then, of course, I just need to create a nook that looks presentable so I can do my videos. So it actually is a pretty good question. Does she have an Etsy? She doesn't have an Etsy. She has sold a lot of things in the past, but my wife did dental hygiene for about close to 20 years, actually, 18 years. And then her midlife crisis was to go back to school and become a physician assistant. So she's been working for about the last year and 3 months as a physician assistant in mental health. And it's been a little more demanding time wise. So her crafting has naturally come down. She does still do some quilting. Her mom has a long arm quilter. I'm sure a lot of people are getting bored right now, but this is my life. So, and this is, again, this is her space. So we're going to have to give it back. But no, she doesn't. Thoughts on Klee? Jose, how are you doing? So the Klee I looked at really today for the first time. I put it on a watch list a while back. And so things that I don't know about Klee, I know that it still has a very low price. It still has a very low market cap. Obviously, it's taken a bit. Well, it's taken a hit today. So if I were buying, I would much rather be buying it now than earlier today. But the market cap's 38 million. So if this thing goes, it's got great potential. But I have actually purchased into a couple of other small projects without researching them very well. And I got burned pretty good. I got, because I was on Shiba Swap, everything was new that was coming into Shiba Swap. I saw them and I had this feeling like you got to be first. You want to get in early because then you can make the big run up. And even if it's the pump and dump situation, maybe you can make a profit there. But I bought Grapefruit and I bought Ryoshi's Vision. And Ryoshi Vision has actually done really well. I bought it the very first day that it was available. It went up. I actually sold out enough to take my initial investment out, and I'm still holding it. But with Klee, the questions that I have, I think their little game is cute and fun. I wish that you didn't have to have, and maybe you don't now. It sounded like that they were going to lower this restriction, but you had to have 1.5 trillion tokens to play the game for earning. And but what I want to know is what's their development team look like? What are their plans for the long term? What are they going to do to make this a project that is sustainable? What are the use case potential for the long term before I would invest in it personally? And I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I was looking at it today. I just need to answer those questions for myself before I throw any money at it, because like Grapefruit, they had all this beautiful artwork and they had a bodybuilder who was kind of the main guy pumping it. And then it just, my investment went from $200 to 60 cents. The last 3 days, ironically, has been really good for that Grapefruit coin. And it's up like 250 or 300%, which means my 60 cents is now like $2 and change. So I'd like to know more about Klee Kai. I'm not opposed to looking at it. All right, let's keep back to the questions here. Saw a few posts regarding being listed on an Indian exchange. I saw that too, Ozzy. I'm not sure where we're at with that. I don't know if we're actually looking at that or like seriously somebody's in there negotiating it. But India has a massive population and lots of people to invest. So, I mean, to me, I want to get widespread adoption in terms of the exchanges and making it available to people, because the more potential investors we have, the better chance it runs. And that's something I actually pointed out the other day. I used a bow and arrow example for what happened with Shiba Inu, because they got listed on multiple different places and the price just stayed flat around that, 700 Satoshi units is what they would have said, but 707. And then when it started to run, it was like they just pulled back this bow and loaded up all this energy with all these different exchanges. And then whew, all at once, they just released all of that. And because there were so many avenues for people to purchase it, it made like a 300% run in 2 days. which is why, again, timing the market is super hard. Um, by the time I would have seen that, if I wasn't already invested, and I've just been holding it ever since I bought it. I bought my initial quantity. I had an amount that I wanted to get to, in my case, 200 million Shiba Inu, and then I just sat on it. But I think if a person would have tried to chase that, by the time you got in, you would have already missed a big portion of the run up, because the way those buys came in, whether they were from Robinhood or wherever they came from, um, there were massive purchases. So it was just like, I mean, you looked at your phone and 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, it would have been up 100%. And then people started getting in, trying to, seeing that it might be making a run. By the end of it, it was pretty epic. And then it pulled back a little bit. But yeah, that would be great if we could get that Indian exchange. And I'll have to look more into that. Hey, Adam, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I'm not going to stay on for too long myself tonight, but let's see what else is going on. Adam Shelton will be having an AMA with 2 developers in 2 weeks. I would love to see that. And if you guys are fans of Adam Shelton, Adam, you may have seen this in one of the videos, but he did 10 people that he thinks you should be watching in the crypto space, and he actually gave the Saitama Stacker community a shout out in that top 10 people to watch, which was extraordinarily flattering. And Adam is a funny guy, actually. He has a really different way of covering the content. He's not really hardcore technical, and he's not really hardcore fundamental. He kind of has a mix of both. But what he has is just an infectious personality. His videos are really fun to watch, and he's so positive. And I think, if nothing else, in this community, it's something I talked about in my overly emotional video yesterday, but we don't really have a I mean, we don't have power over whether the project succeeds or not. We're all doing what we can within our power to make the project succeed as a community. But as we're building the community, we can do things within our power, like building each other up. And so for Adam to give us that shout out, I mean, that was really nice. That a lot of people would see people in this space as competitors. I don't see it that way. Quite frankly, I don't care where people get their Saitama content. If you find somebody who really jives with you, go watch that. If it inspires you, and it will inspire other people. My goal is for Saitama to have 1 million holders and be a top 100 coin. If I mean, I don't want any horrible humans on the Saitama train, you know, pumping it, but anybody who's, on Hey guys, I don't expect too many people stuck around. Looks like 30 people stuck around. That's totally fine. Hey, we're having like a brutal snowstorm, and like the wind is just howling outside. It's kind of unusual for this early in the year, but you guys know how the weather is these days. So I probably won't stick around for much longer, but I did want to tell everybody thank you. I appreciate you coming on the stream, and I appreciate the questions and just the kindness, the well wishes. Um, I think we're building a tremendous community here, not just the Stacker community, but the Saitama community at large. And so I appreciate you guys coming. We'll do this again here in in a day or two when hopefully some of this is passed over. So Terry, just to answer your question, I'm in Idaho. So if they say in Idaho, if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes. And I have quite literally experienced all four seasons in one day. July 4th, one year, we had snow, we had rain, we had like 90-degree heat. It was just absolutely crazy. So, all right. Well, hey, folks, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Those of you who contributed via super chats, thank you very much. It's not necessary, but I will try to use those to make the community stronger and make sure I give a portion of that back to do things that will make it fun and attract new people to the community. So I thank you all very much. Uh, have a wonderful night. Let's see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Tokenator. I appreciate that suggestion. I start to think about that sometimes. Like, if for some reason the Saitama project um, struggled, I pigeonholed myself pretty strongly into this one project, but I kind of did that on purpose. For one, I really believe in the project, and for two, I can't do like 6 or 7 videos a day like some people are doing just based on my time constraints. But I do think about, if we have to migrate at some point to a new channel or to open ourselves up, and we can always do live streams where I'm happy to talk about other projects and other content. um, but for my videos for community building around Saitama, I'm going to try to stay with that for this projected near to intermediate term. So, all right. Well, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful night or morning or day wherever you are in the world. Appreciate you so much. Oh, Sammy Rivera, thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate the super chat. Do you have a question you want to accompany that with? I'm happy to take one more question from you if you want. Yeah. Steve at Rocket Crypto is a good guy. He's doing a ton for the community. He's part of the development team, which is helpful because we get better access to him and more content. So, um, Sammy Rivera, thank you again. I appreciate that. And like I said, I'll make sure that I take a good, healthy portion of this and put it back into the community. I'm going to put a portion of it into investing too. Maybe I'll be looking at some of those other projects like Klee and some of those. But hey, I really, truly appreciate you all. Thanks for joining me. We'll do it again soon, and hopefully we'll have better luck with the internet. Keep it going. Keep the stream going, or keep the Saitama project going. A few minutes ago, that perhaps, yeah, that would be great, Tokenator. We really enjoy this program. Oh, well, I appreciate you. Um, I appreciate you. I am enjoying doing it, and I appreciate the feedback you guys are giving. And any ideas that you have, you're welcome to shoot me messages on Twitter, post it in the comments. I do try to read all of the comments. I actually spent 15 minutes before the stream deleting those stupid WhatsApp spam scam things out of the comments. And I don't, I don't, I mean, I don't feel like I have to apologize because I'm not doing it, but I apologize that that's happening. And I don't know why eBay can't come up with a system to knock that out. So, all right. Well, hey, appreciate you all. I'll keep doing the best I can to bring you quality content and things that hopefully provide value to the community and new people that are coming to look at the project. And everybody have a great night. Daniel, Robert in Queensland, Drew Reyes, Fit in Crypto, Sammy Rivera. Thanks again for the super chat. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll do it again really soon. Good night.